Hey guys, Will here. I'm out here in my backyard, and I want to talk about an interesting concept. I want to talk about, first off, the idea that everything is always working out for you, no matter how it looks or how it feels. And also, the idea of how that relates to self improvement versus predetermination. And working on yourself versus the idea that everything is predetermined and you're going to be successful when you're meant to be successful. So, first up is the idea that everything is always working out for you. Now, this is an idea that comes from Abraham Hicks, spiritual teacher, and also Matt Kahn has said it also. And that is that no matter how it looks or no matter how your life seems to be, even if it seems to be falling apart or not working in your favor, it is working out for you. It is working out for you. And what that means is if things are falling apart, that's like an old restaurant getting torn down so a new restaurant can be built. It's the deconstruction before the reconstruction of something better. That's an idea from Matt Kahn. And the other idea that Matt Kahn says is that even if it seems like things aren't working out, everything you go through is beneficial. So everything you experience, even if it seems on the surface like it might be a bad thing, let's say your girlfriend breaks up with you, he says that it's beneficial. And what he compares it to as a metaphor is like a tall glass of super green, like Green's nutrition powder. Like when you have a tall glass of Green's nutrition powder, you don't enjoy drinking it. It tastes awful, but you're getting benefits. Your body is going to be healthier, more productive, and happier. So the same way, when your girlfriend breaks up with you, clearly she wasn't meant to be. Maybe there's someone better coming. Maybe it was a toxic relationship and you didn't know. So there's lots of benefits, but it sucks during the drinking of it. Like, yeah, breakups suck. But, and this might be a tough pill to swallow. A lot of people who are going through problems might be like, fuck you. Don't tell me that it's working out for me. Everything sucks. And you know what? That's fine. Because we all like to listen to sad music, and we all enjoy wallowing in our feelings of victimization and sadness, and that's perfectly okay. It's healthy. The only thing I would say is don't stay there forever. At a certain point, you gotta move on from that, and it's not even like you really have to try to do that. One day you're just gonna wake up, and you're gonna look at the sun, and you'll remember. You're just gonna wake up, and something within you is gonna go, I want to move on and make good choices in my life, and it'll just happen. You don't really even have to try. So everything is always working out for you, even if it doesn't seem like it, because even the things that suck are beneficial, because you are getting benefit. If you lose your job, a better job is coming. If you lose your job, that wasn't your sole purpose, and you can even go, and there can be even months where it feels like this is all shit. This is completely shit. Universe is not giving me what I want. Universe is just lining everything up and orchestrating it so I don't get what I want, just to spite me. And the thing is, and I've been through months like that. Last year that we just had, I had a really bad year. But here's the thing: is I grew so much. I learned so much. I went through tough times, but it humbled me. It gave me a sense of humor. It gave me the ability to relate to more people. It made me, because, I had been living a really good life up until then. But going through that terrible year of just feeling so worthless and invisible to everyone, it just, it's made me more humble. It's made me not need to be so happy all the time. And it's just, it almost, you get kind of like a humorous indifference. Like, it's created this like humorous indifference. Like, whether life's good or bad, I don't really care, because it's just life. It's just what's happening. Whether it's good or bad is just doesn't really matter to me. It's just the next thing, because I've been through years, or not years, well, yeah, years, but months of just bad, 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 bad. When before I was attached to having a really great life, and then it went really bad. So now, whether it's good or bad, I don't really care. I'm almost laughing at it. And that's what Matt Kahn says. He says that awakening is not the increase of the amount of positive experiences. Awakening is simply uh, not caring whether your experiences are good or bad. It's simply just going, oh, this is what's next for me. This is what life is doing for me right now. Okay, sure. One of the things Matt Kahn says is awakening is saying, oh, is it time to be uncomfortable again? Okay, that's the greatest surrender. Oh, it's time to be uncomfortable right now. Life says is telling me that it's time to be disappointed and uncomfortable. Okay, not fighting with life, complete surrender. So that's what Matt Kahn. I love Matt Kahn. If you don't know Matt Kahn, you really should check him out. He's amazing. Um, and so yeah, so everything's always working out, and awakening is learning to be comfortable with positive and negative experiences. So yeah, so tying back to everything always working out. So that past year has made me uh, a more broader, expanded person. Going through that year of suffering and loneliness, well, one, I've learned that I can't rely on anyone else. I learned that in such a major way because when you're alone, when you're very lonely for a long period of time, you really learn how to rely on yourself. And that was something I hadn't really had to do. Up until that point, I had not really had to really rely on myself in such a way that I had to during that year. And so it was helping me. It was helping me. Everything is here to help you, you know? And even if you don't like it, somehow, you may not know how, but somehow it's leading you towards a better future, towards a more wholesome, a more experienced, and a more better version of yourself. And that's really the thing to keep in mind during times of stress and pain and times that suck, is that this is making me a better person. And to just know that and to hold on to that and keep that with you, because once you have been through a year of loneliness and sadness, and then once you know, are on your way up and you begin to glimpse how that experience helped you so much, how it made you stronger and more wise, and then you keep going up, and then once you're you know, contributing, and once you're feeling better, and you have that whole year of pain and depression behind you, you are unfucking stoppable, because you're like, I'm not afraid of pain. Oh, you want to take everything away from me and make me depressed? Guess what? I've been there for a year and I learned to like it. So then you start going up, and then you're fucking unstoppable. It's like stoicism. It's like what they say, what Seneca says. Seneca says he wants rich men to give away all their money and all their properties and live in squalor and live in the dirt with no food for a week, just to know that they've been to the absolute lowest they can ever go, and then they can return back to their business and they can make choices and not be afraid, because, oh, what's the worst that could happen? I've been there for a week. I got comfortable with the worst case scenario, so now I can thrive. And I can not be afraid to take risks. So yeah, so it's like, and once, what I'm saying is, once you start to have really great experiences again after a while, it's so much sweeter, and it's more no one can take it from you, because what's the worst that could happen? You know, everything could be taken from you and you could be depressed. Yeah, well, guess what? I was like that for a year. And I learned to be okay with it. I learned to be happy in that. And then, and the other thing that that does is it gives you a sense of humility, a sense of like empathy for other people. Because let's be honest, most people in this planet are not happy, thriving people. Most people are upset and bored and menial and distracted. So I have, you know, always tried to live the best life I can. But when life knocks me down for like a long time and gives me like almost cruel suffering, then you can kind of feel that you know, this planet that we're on is really not, uh, it's really not um, that lovely of a place for most people. It's really kind of really shitty for a lot of people in the world. And so familiarizing yourself with that, um, the pain, even if normally you're not, even if normally you're a pretty happy person, to go back to spend time in suffering, it just makes you humble. It just makes you human. It makes you relatable. And 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 of course, if you're really, um, if you're really, into self development, spirituality, and all that stuff, you're gonna find your way back to happiness. But if you'd never known the pain and the darkness and the depths, then you know, you would just be, you wouldn't, like they say, you can't know light without dark. So, the final point I want to make is on the idea of self improvement versus predetermination. So, the idea of like self improvement, it's like, do what you can, try hard, work right now, work right now to make things better. And the idea of predetermination is that everything is predetermined and you'll get there when you get there. Now, I love the idea of predetermination. Matt Kahn talks about predetermination because it helps me know this is so important that when you're experiencing something that you don't like, when you're going through something that you don't enjoy, Matt Kahn says that every single thing that you think, act, say, and do is predetermined in order to clear from the collective consciousness. So the collective consciousness has all these problems, right? And you have been chosen to clear the way that you're inspired to act, behave, say, speak, and do, even if you blame yourself and say, I'm wrong for engaging in this pattern, I'm wrong for having this addiction, I'm wrong for acting in this way. It's not about you. He says everything is predetermined. And the way that you find yourself acting in your life, you couldn't be any other way if you tried in that one moment. It's about in the moment. Everything you do is clearing that pattern, that thought, whatever feeling, whatever activity, you're clearing that out of the collective. You're taking it on, living it out, and by therefore transmuting it into the light of consciousness that you are. So don't beat up on yourself if you're not doing amazing, if you have an addiction, if you have patterns in your life, if you're unhappy and you say, why can't I be the way I think I need to be? It's because, as Matt Kahn says, you only act, think, speak, say, and do in whatever way that is needed to clear from the collective. So if you, for a year, find yourself with addictions or problems, and you're saying, why can't I be like I think I should be? Why beat up on yourself? Because I've done that. And it's like, Matt Kahn says, at that point in time, you were not meant to be successful because you're already helping the world by clearing these things out of the collective consciousness. So, and you will become successful when you're meant to be successful, whenever it's time. Whenever these patterns, these problems, addictions, whenever they're cleared from the collective, when you've played it out, then it will be time for success. And you will get there. But you can't rush it. If you're meant to clear something for the whole world as a service, and that means that you're not going to be the way you think you should be, that's fine, because we're all clearing. And whatever way you think you should be is, for one, an imagination, and it's not how you are, but also it's important to know that you will get to the success you want. You will get there, but it might just not be time, Matt Kahn says everything is predetermined, and and it's funny because people ask, like, or for me, I ask when I'm going through times that are lonely and sad and painful and stuff, and I'm not being who I want to be. It's like, well, how is this helping me? How is this a good thing? And well, for one, you're clearing this out of the collective. It's predetermined. But also, going through pain and sadness and sorrow and addiction and problems, it just makes you wiser. It just makes you wiser. It makes you humbler. You have to know dark to know light. And it just makes you wiser. It makes you more relatable. You can relate to other people because you're not perfect. No one's perfect. No one is perfect. But you can... and when you go through what seems like almost cruel, never-ending suffering, that's really kills the ego. That really kills the ego. When you say, I should be one way, but despite my best efforts, I seem like a complete failure. What better way to kill the ego than that? Who you think you should be?